and good morning everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I am Danielle and I'm excited that you're here watching this video. I lost about 100 pounds doing Weight Watchers and I love to encourage others on their health journey. So today I wanted to make some sourdough bread and some soup. It's getting to be really cold here and so I just want something warm and cozy, and my friend recommended this recipe, so I thought I would give it a try. I'm going to start by making the sourdough bread, so I'm going to feed my sourdough starter. If you're in the area and are looking for sourdough starter, I can totally give some to you. This is my sourdough starter and I am going to feed it. So I'm going to do half water, half flour. I start with 50 grams of water and 50 grams of unbleached flour. I ended up on 55, so I'll just do 55 of flour as well. So now that I have 55 of both, I'll just mix them, and then they're gonna sit for 4 hours. So I like to start this when I first wake up in the morning so that it's ready by supper, because it takes a long time. Real too. You too, honey? I got these disposable shower caps and I just cover it with that, and it just sits somewhere warm. So it just sits on my countertop. And then we'll come back to it in a little bit. All right, now that the starter is active, you can see it's super bubbly. We're going to mix it. So we're going to take 200 grams of the starter. And I have enough starter here that I probably will do 2 batches. We're going to do 250 grams of filtered water. And then 425 grams of flour. $12 grams of salt. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of oil and 1 tablespoon of honey. And then we'll mix it together. Now we just want to mix it really well so that it all mixes in together. And I'm going to take it out here just so you can see it. And then I'm just going to stretch it and fold it over. And then we're gonna let it sit. Every half an hour we're gonna stretch and fold it, but we're just gonna let it sit, and I'm gonna cover it again. And then the rest of the starter, we can feed it, so we'll do half and half, and then we'll just put it in the fridge till the next time we need to use it, and then we'll feed it again. So it's really easy. So we're just gonna let this sit. I'll cover it with a towel, and we'll come back to it in about a half an hour to an hour, depending on what I'm doing on timing. Okay, now that 4 hours have passed, it's actually been a little bit longer, I'm going to knead the bread a little, and then I will fold it over and up, and I just stretch it. So just stretch and over, and then turn it a little, stretch, over. We're gonna let it sit like this for another 30 minutes to an hour. And then I'm going to fold it again. So I just stretch and pull. Stretch and pull. And let it sit again. Well, the dough is rising. We are gonna start making the soup. So I'm gonna make chicken and wild rice soup. Malachi really wanted mushroom soup, and so we're compromising, and I'm adding mushrooms to the chicken and wild rice soup. So don't add mushrooms if you don't want that. If that doesn't sound good to you, don't add it. But I'm going to cut up celery, carrots, and then I just realized I don't have an onion, so I'm not going to use the onion. but the recipe does call for it. My friend said this soup was amazing, and so I'm super excited to try it. It is definitely soup season here. So it calls for 5 pieces of celery. So I'm just cutting off the good pieces. I've had the celery for a little while, so some of the pieces have gone bad. So I'm gonna cut these up and cut my carrots up. And then I'm going to cook them over the stove. And then we'll take the washed mushrooms and cut them up. And just to clarify, my son does not like mushrooms, so why he wants mushroom soup, not sure, but I will do what he wants. So now I'm gonna saute the vegetables with 1 tablespoon of light butter. Okay, now while the vegetables are still cooking, I'm going to take half a cup of flour. And then you can use whatever kind of milk you want. I like this cashew milk because it's low in points. You can use almond milk, you can use regular milk, whatever you want. And then we're going to take 1 cup of the milk and 1 cup of cream and just mix it together. We're not going to actually use this for a little bit, but I try to multitask when I can. And then I also cut up, as you can see to my right, I cut up the rotisserie chicken. It's ready when I need it. And then I'm going to mix this together. Once the vegetables are soft, we will add in the chicken broth and some seasonings, and then we'll add the chicken and this concoction. So now we're just waiting for the vegetables to be soft, and we will do the next step. As it is rising, I am going to start making the soup. So initially I'm going to cut up celery, carrots, milk. I really wanted mushroom soup, and so I'm going to add mushrooms to this. Now we will add in 6 cups of chicken broth. Sorry, now we'll add in 3 cups. I just have half cups, so in my head I was going to add 6 of these. And we'll add in this Ben's Original long green and wild rice with the seasoning. So we got the rice. Seasoning packet, 1/4 teaspoon of rosemary, 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic, and then we'll mix this together and we'll let it sit for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes and the rice looks cooked. So I'm going to add in that flour mixture. And it says to cook this until it thickens. Just because the half and half is so high in points, I think I might even add a little bit more chicken broth just to make this go a little bit farther, but I'm going to taste it once it's done to see how it tastes. So I'm going to let this simmer for a little bit longer. I'm also going to add in the rotisserie chicken. You can use whatever kind of chicken you want. I just think rotisserie works really well. You just take it off. You just cut it up and it's ready to go. So yeah, you can see this is getting really thick, and I don't mind soup a little bit thinner, so just to get a little bit more for my volume, I might add some more chicken broth, but it's looking very yummy. I am gonna add some more chicken broth. I don't mind soupy soup, so feel free to keep it lower. I'll figure out the points either way so that you know. Okay, the soup looks done. It still looks really thick even with adding that chicken broth, extra chicken broth. So I'll figure out the points between them. So yummy. Okay, so I totally read the recipe wrong, and I thought it said 3 cups, but it said 3 cans of 16 ounces, and so I was way off. I just added in a little bit more cashew milk and chicken broth. It tastes so good, you don't notice a big difference. And I actually really like the cashew milk with the vanilla flavoring. I think it adds a little bit of a nutty flavor. So I think it makes the soup taste even better. And I actually really like the mushrooms inside of it. So if you're not a fan of mushrooms, definitely leave it out. But otherwise, I would add them. It tastes really yummy. So I just added another cup of chicken broth, and I'm going to add another cup of cashew milk just to keep it a little bit thicker. And again, I don't mind it a little bit soupy. It'll come out to be about 4 points for 1 1/4 cup. So it was a lot of math that I had to do to figure it out, but it is super yummy, and I don't think it'll make much of a difference to add a little bit more chicken broth and cashew milk. So that is what I'm going to do. And then it's getting to be a little bit late, so I'm not gonna cook my sourdough bread tonight. I'm gonna cook it in the morning. Then I'll have the chicken and wild rice soup with my fresh sourdough bread for lunch tomorrow. It's been about 8 hours since I first put this dough in to rise. So I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to spread a little bit of flour. And you can let it even rise overnight, but this is just what I do. And then I'm just going to shape it. So I'm just going to kind of pull it together. I have a Banton, but if you don't have a Banton, you can just use any container and just let it rise for an additional 2 hours. So we're just going to cover it for another 2 hours. It has been about 2 hours since I started proofing my sourdough dough. So I'm just going to cover it with a shower cap and put it in the fridge, and then I'll bake it in the morning, and I'll have some fresh sourdough bread. And then I'll have it at lunch with my soup. I am so excited for this and the soup. It is going to be so yummy. I can't wait to share it all with you. So in the fridge it goes till the morning. So I'm preheating the oven now,
And you put your Dutch oven in so that it gets hot while it's preheating. And once it's preheated, we'll put the bread into the Dutch oven. Okay, now that it is preheated, we will take our Dutch oven out of the oven. And then we'll take our bread out of the fridge. And then we flip it over. We'll set it in the pan. Then we're going to take our really sharp knife. There are tools for this, but I don't have those. And just cut along the edge. Sorry, cut along the middle. So it's got a beautiful serrated middle. And then we'll put the cover back on and put it in the oven for about 40 minutes, and we'll check on it in 40 minutes. The timer just went off, so I took it out of the oven, and it is turning out beautiful. So you bake for 40 minutes, and then you take the cover off, and we'll bake for another 10 minutes, but that's looking pretty yummy. So now we will bake it for another 10 minutes, and it will get crisp and brown on the top, and then we'll be ready to eat it. I don't know if there's anything better than fresh sourdough. So yummy. Look at that. So yummy. All right, the bread is done. I just cut it. Nice, warm, yummy bread. And I heated up the soup, and I'm so excited. That is so good. That is so yummy. Like, out of this world. It is hard for me to believe it is so low in points. This is definitely one you're gonna wanna make this winter. It is so good. It has like I think the cashew milk, I know I said this before, but I think the cashew milk just gives it a ton of extra flavor, and it is so yummy. So about 1 1/4 cups of the soup is 4 points. I just have a cup here just because I just wanted a little bit. And then the sourdough bread is 2 points a piece. So very nice snack or meal depending on what you're having it for, but I will definitely be making this all winter long. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that I was able to give you some inspiration on a new soup recipe. If you could, please subscribe down below and like this video. Have a great day. Bye.